Nadeem Bukhari notes. Linguistics. Characteristics or principles or postulates of modern linguistics. Para number 1. Every subject, as a system of knowledge, sets down some basic principles to operate within. Physics, for instance, is concerned with the study of matter and natural forces such as light, heat and movement, etc. Psychology studies the mind and the way it works, and philosophy looks at the nature and meaning of existence, reality, knowledge and goodness, etc. Similarly, linguistics has evolved certain postulates which are pursued in the study of language in modern times. It is quite relevant to point out that language has been studied by man ever since he became inquisitive about both macrocosm as well as microcosm. The primitive Greeks were quite good at philosophical speculation about everything around them. They looked at language philosophically, the medievals studied it logically, and the 19th century scholars were preoccupied with language rather historically. Yet none of these approaches was highly objective and scientific. The real credit goes to the 20th century linguists who made the language studies scientific in approach. Their approach was structural. They were mainly concerned with finding out the nature of systems and structures which operate in language in its present form. The modern linguistics, therefore, follows certain principles which are presumed to be its essential postulates for further scientific and empirical investigation of the subject. Para number 2. The first and foremost characteristic of modern linguistics is that it gives primacy to speech over writing. In traditional language studies, speech was relegated to a secondary position at the cost of written. But the modern-day linguist is of the view that speech enjoys primacy over writing on genetic, functional, structural and historical grounds. Man is genetically programmed to be able to speak. In our daily chairs we use speech more often than writing. Structurally, writing is a reflection of sequence in human speech sounds, and even in human civilization man started speaking long before he developed the art of writing. Para number 3. The second postulate of modern linguistics is that it does not take language as a mondotic whole. It is interested in finding out varieties in language, both interlingual as well as intralingual. Interlingual varieties refer to differences across various languages, whereas intralingual varieties are those which are found within the same language. Para number 4. The third postulate of modern linguistics is that it is basically descriptive as against the traditional approach which was essentially prescriptive. In descriptive approach, the linguist just describes how language operates, what linguistic systems there are in it and how they work in close interaction with each other. The linguist is not concerned with maintaining that certain verbal expressions are right while others are wrong. He just describes things as they are without imposing external norms on language or its usage. Para number 5. The fourth principle of modern linguistics is that it is mainly scientific. A linguist follows the same route in the study of language as does a scientist in the analysis of matter. A linguist looks at various aspects of language, finds a pattern in its general observation, collects data, studies it either scientifically or empirically depending on the nature of linguistic aspect. The experiment may affirm or negate the hypothesis he formed before undertaking the experiment. Finally, he comes up with his findings to formulate rules and principle of language. Para number 6. The fifth principle of modern linguistics is that the linguist is not supposed to give any value judgments on language. Language A is as good for him as language B. He will study any language objectively. All languages are equal to him in terms of their communicative functions. It may, however, will be that one language has a word, another a phrase, and still another a sentence for expressing certain notions and concepts. Para number 7. The sixth aspect of modern linguistics is that it is basically structural. The linguist tries to find out the nature of various structures which are found in a language. These structures may be phonological, syntactic, semantic, stylistic, pragmatic, orthographic, etc. These structures are realized variously in various languages. Para number 8. The seventh aspect of modern linguistics is that it studies language both vertically as well as horizontally. The horizontal approach analyzes language from its minimal unit to its maximal chunk. The minimal meaningful unit in a language is perceived to be a phoneme which combines to make a syllable, syllables combine to make words, and words combine to make phrases, phrases combine to make clauses, and clauses combine to make a sentence. Any stretch of language beyond sentence is called discourse. Analysis of discourse level is called vertical. Both horizontal and vertical approaches to analysis of language contribute to our comprehensive understanding of language. Para number 9. The eighth feature of modern linguistics is that it is interdisciplinary. This is why we have such branches of linguistics as psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, anthropological linguistics, mathematical linguistics, etc. Psycholinguistics, for example, studies language in relation to psychology, and sociolinguistics studies language in relation to society. Para number 10. The above discussion clearly suggests that linguistics is an independent subject. Unlike any independent subject, relies on its own rules and principles to study the language accordingly.